Hey guys, Super Godzilla Final Wars here, and I'm back for another video. This time, we're going to be discussing something that's going to be a little different. And that is, well, oh, we're going to be discussing on what if Inuyasha chose Kikyo instead of, Kagome. Now, the most likely explanation is, well, Kagome will be more like in a very deep depression, because Inuyasha chose Kikyo instead of her. But that's not it. The question of the day is more like, well, how would Inuyasha bring Kikyo back? I mean, as far as we know, she's sort of alive, but not really. Well, I got a few theories about how could Kikyo be brought back to life. Like, and that, I might have to make this a separate video. And for those of you who are new to the channel, if you don't know who Inuyasha is, go look it up yourself. And if you're curious on who Kikyo is, she's basically Inuyasha's, well, ex-lover in the anime series called Inuyasha. Of course, Inuyasha spends a good majority of his time with Kagome in the series, but there are some moments where Inuyasha and Kikyo have some moments. And we even see sometimes that Inuyasha is willing to die for Kikyo. Now, but what if Kagome, but what if Kikyo were to be saved? And by that I mean getting brought back to being a normal human being again. The most likely explanation is Inuyasha will most likely try to use the Sacred Jewel to bring back Kikyo. Because Kikyo theorized that if Inuyasha uses the Sacred Jewel, well, to not just become a full demon, but possibly become a human being. So what if the Sacred Jewel was capable of bringing back someone from the dead? In this case, is the lucky person who gets brought back from the dead is Kikyo herself. Now, as you know, me, King Urza 3, and Zilda, we are big Inuyasha and Kikyo shippers. We just basically ignore Kagome's presence within the series. We just don't like Kagome. We prefer Kikyo more than Kagome. But what if Kikyo were to be saved? So I think the most likely explanation is, well, Inuyasha discovers that there is a way to bring back Kikyo. And the only way to do this is, well, at he thinks that he needs to steal Shishomaru's sword to be able to bring back Kikyo. But instead, he finds out that the sacred jewel is capable of bringing back Kikyo. And he doesn't need to use it just once. He can use it as many times as he wants. So Inuyasha is now desperate to get the sacred jewel shard altogether. He no longer just want to become a full-fledged demon or a human. Or he doesn't even want to use it to destroy Naraku. He just wants to use it to bring back Kikyo. And I'm pretty sure his behavior will start changing. He starts to become more desperate on searching for the sacred jewel shards. Because this will be Kikyo's time to come back from the dead, and for these two to make up for what happened 50 years ago. Now, another thing is that Kagome will most likely start noticing Inuyasha's strange behavior. He starts to become more desperate on finding the sacred jewel shards. He no longer is wanting Kagome to hold them. He wants to hold them. And I'm pretty sure his friends will start trying to follow him, but he keeps on telling them to go away. Now, I'm pretty sure once Inuyasha gets all the sacred jewel shards together, he finds Kikyo instead of telling Kagome that he has all the sacred jewel shards, and the whole sacred jewels thing is well, complete. So instead, he uses the power of the sacred jewel to bring back Kikyo. Her soul collectors start to disappear, and all the souls that she's been using to keep herself alive leave her body. And this is when Inuyasha reveals to Kikyo that he uses the sacred jewel's power to bring her back. Sorry about that. Anyways, moving on. So, Inuyasha and Kikyo are finally reunited. Kikyo is back to being alive. Inuyasha says that he can actually use the sacred jewel to bring her back more than just one time. He can just use it to bring her back as many times as he wants. So then there will have to be a new way for the main characters to destroy Naraku. Kaede will most likely be very happy that the fact that her sister is back to being alive and thanks Inuyasha. But the real drama begins when Kagome and, of course, Inuyasha's friends discover that Inuyasha used the Sacred Jewel's powers to basically bring back Kikyo. Most likely, Kagome will be very angry at this point. Not only Kikyo's back, but now Inuyasha is spending more time with her. And not only that, this brings up a tension between Kikyo and Kagome. And now Inuyasha is left with a very tough decision. Does he choose Kikyo, the first woman that he ever fell in love with, or does he choose Kagome? Basically, Kikyo's quote-unquote reincarnation. So basically, Inuyasha is left with a very tough decision. But I'm pretty sure most likely Inuyasha will apologize to Kagome to everything, about everything, and how the way he treated her, but he just takes Kikyo back. And now Kagome is now very depressed. On one hand, her friends don't know how to react to the situation because, well, Kikyo and Inuyasha are not just reunited, but Kikyo's back to being alive. And Kikyo and Inuyasha could start off where they left off. Like, they could start off where they left off when Naraku tore them apart.